All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Kasha Kwala coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. This lesson is going to be fairly quick. It's just a little update on what's going on, and it's primarily about the Dow Jones, which we all know the Dow Jones is all rigged, the stock market and all that stuff. But it's still interesting news for the point of it, and also it's a part of prophecy as well for some prophecies to go ahead and pop off. So as you can see on the right of my screen, I keep this up all the time. It's an app that comes on Apple products. It's just called Stocks. If you have a iPhone, you'll have it on your phone already installed, so you can just go ahead and see what's going on in the Dow Jones. Or if you have a Mac computer or a laptop, Apple laptop, MacBook Pro, whatever, you'll have the same app. And with this app, it brings articles to you. So I just happened to stumble on this article. As you can see, the Dow Jones is at 26,000, which is high as shit. I think it's like this thing. This article says it's the highest it's ever been ever. So people in America are settled on their leads and chilling in their hammocks, thinking America's good because the Dow Jones is so high. Okay, but it's a bubble ready to burst. It's getting too filled up, if you for lack of better terms. So without further ado, this comes from the and I'm gonna get a few precepts that are very classic, like Revelation 18 and of course Ecclesiastes 12, and I might go into the Book of Maccabees and get something too. So it says the Dow Jones. It says the Dow just hit a new high. It's time to talk about a recession, exactly, because it's gonna recede very soon. So it says the Dow might have traded at a new high, but it doesn't look like it would be able to close at one, with economic data weakening. And economic data has been weakening from time and time since whenever Trump got in office, even before him. But the Dow has hit all-time highs since Trump has been in office. But in his administration, which I'm speaking as a man, I don't think he will get reelected for the 2020 elections. Ain't nobody really gonna do the things that Trump's gonna do, but he'll get reelected and he's gonna bring an end to all of this, and the chip is gonna be initiated. So it says the changes of recessions are growing. Exactly. So a recession is looming. It's like on the horizon. It's right around the corner. It's hiding in the closet, about to pop out on America. So it says stocks were hitting new highs after U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping agreed to trade a ceasefire. Unfortunately, the agreement might have come too late to keep the U.S. from slipping into a recession. Yes, the Dow Jones Industrial Average just traded at a new high. So did the S&P 500. It says, but there were other data points Monday that point in the opposite direction. See, no matter how high this thing gets, there's always data that is contradicting what it seems to be. There's something always heterodox. As a matter of fact, I'll get that word heterodox because you got orthodox, unorthodox, and heterodox. Okay, so let's get the word heterodox. Heterodox. Heterodox means not conforming with or accept of orthodox standards or beliefs. So the data that we read about up here, it talked the economic data weakening. It's heterodox to what we see the Dow Jones at right here, as you can see on the screen. It's at an all-time high. Okay, let's go. Let's do a 2-year. Okay, let's do a 2-year. All right, so it's 2019. Back in 2018, in January, it hit an all-time high about 26,616, and you can see the all-time high is 26,000, almost 27,000. All right, 60 points off, pretty much 61 points off from being 27,000. That's the highest it will ever be, or it has ever been, and right now it's sitting at a pretty 26,717. Okay, so we're waiting for dips like that, but We're waiting ultimately just for an extreme drop off and happening in one day. But you can see it's gonna happen because, like I said, it's heterodox to what's actually going on. What's actually going on in the background, it's not looking too good for America. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to that article. Ooh, not that article. There we go. So, without further ado, let me get Revelation. I'm going to jump to the point. Revelation chapter 18 and 11. It says, "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her," that her being America, "for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore," because America is not just only going to go into recession, it's going to go into a deep depression. All right? It's just going to be no more. And that in the midst of that depression is going to be a mandatory chipping that's going on. That's going to go on with the RFID chip, and that's how you know that we're going to be very, very close to the end. All right, because then once the chip becomes mandatory, the men of the Lord are going to start doing miracles. All right, verse 12 says, "The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble." Yes, these things that are being named right here, because America used to be a great land before the so-called white man came and started polluting it. All right. Verse 13, it says, "And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after and are departed from thee." That's right. Living that American dream, going to Las Vegas, whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Vegas, Sin City and shit like that, coming to Atlanta, doing some gay crap. All right. Those are the lusts that these other nations looked at and then thought was fun and it was a commodity. But all that's going to cease once all this, the economy drops. Okay. It says, "All these things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and all and thou shalt find them no more at all." That's right, because everything's going to drop dead. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble." Exactly, the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right, and just applying that scriptures, and the keeper of the house is the goddamn Edomites. Okay, they're going to tremble when they see their economy crashing. These old peon Edomites going to go crazy, probably killing themselves and shit. It says, "And strong men shall bow themselves." All right, and the grinder shall cease. There you go. It ain't going to be no more jobs no more. Once all this drops, it's going to be like the, what is that? Let me look it up real quick. I think it's the 1920s. Yeah, it's during the 1920s. All right, the big old dust bowl. Okay, you see that? In the 1920s, a big dust, or 1930s, it was a big dust bowl. All right, this was during the time of the Depression. Okay, America's just getting clipped on all sides, even naturally, natural disasters. This is some stuff you see in the Sahara Desert, man. All this is gonna come back too, but everybody's gonna lose their job. It just ain't gonna be a few people like we understand in whatchamacallit, in 2007, in 2008, a little bit of 2009 when that big recession happened, when Obama first got into office. It was mainly hit the real estate bad. A lot of people lost their jobs, A lot of people lost their jobs. I remember I was working at AMC Theater during that time, and I was working with 40-year-old people who used to be in corporate. But they lost their job. They had to get laid off because they couldn't afford them anymore. This recession is going to be worse. Everybody's going to lose their shit. Everybody. That's why the scriptures say the grinders shall cease. Jake like to say, they like to use the word grind in substitution for the word work. Like when you hear Jake, "Yeah, I'm working, man, I'm working." He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm grinding, baby. I'm grinding." Meaning he has a steady income of money because he's working. It's the same thing that the scripture is saying. And that's gonna happen. It ain't gonna be the grinders shall cease. The working, the middle class, the high, whatever you want to call it, the rich, the poor, everybody's going to stop working. There ain't going to be no more jobs. It says because they are few, all right? It says, let's see that word, few. I don't think it's going to pop up. Yeah. What's that? Matai? No, Salakia. I'm blanking out right now, but let's just go to it right here. It says to become, to be or become small, be few, be diminished. Okay. It says to diminish. What else does it say? It says to be small, to become few. Let's go. It says to make small, make few, diminish. When something's diminished, it means it's gone away. It means it's totally gone away. Okay? Salakia. Give me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second, Akim. All right. All right. So it says smaller few, Salakia, I'm back. It says decrease, to suffer. It says to suffer decrease and diminish. All right. So that's what's going to happen in this recession. Is the jobs are going to suffer a high decrease, and they're ultimately just going to diminish and fade away. It says, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So it continues. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. No more work. Okay? When the sound of the grinding is low, there goes the grinding again. Ain't no factories going to be pumping out cars and shit. It's done. It says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And that's speaking about what the music is today. It says the daughters of music should be brought low. Every day the music gets worse and worse and worse and worse because it's getting brought low. Okay, so I probably won't. I guess I'll get it. If I can find it, it's in the book of Maccabees. It goes into an economic, depression. Let's go to Maccabees. I think it's in the 3rd chapter. Let's see. All right, so we got Judas fighting Apollonius and taking his sword, and let's see. There we go. It says verse 27. First Maccabees 3 and 27. It says, now when King Antiochus or Antiochus heard these things, and this is Antiochus the 4th, Epiphanes. So it says, heard these things, he was full of indignation. Okay, wherefore he sent and gathered together all the forces of his realm, even a very strong army. He opened also his treasure and gave his soldiers pay for a year, commanding them to be ready whensoever he should need them. So he opened up his treasures and he started throwing cash at his soldiers, because Judas and the Maccabees were a problem in that theater. It was during the Maccabean War, but also Antiochus was fighting in another theater against the Ptolemaic Empire. Okay, in the Syrian Wars. Okay, I think in this time it was like the 6th Syrian War, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. So verse 29, it says, nevertheless, when he saw that the money of his treasurers failed. All right, that's economic collapse right there. All right, and that the tributes in the country were small. They were diminishing because the jobs were low. The grinding was ceasing. Okay, it says because of the dissension and the plague which he had brought upon the land, and taken away the laws which had been of old time. That's the same thing happening now. You're gonna see Esau's economy drop because he's taken away the laws of the Israelites. So the Lord don't like that. So he gonna do stuff to his kingdom, and there's nothing he can do about it. Same thing that was going on today is gonna go on. That what was going on during the time of Antiochus, King Antiochus, or Antiochus Epiphanes. See, this right here, those few verses were example of economic collapse right there. So Lord willing, this is edifying. Lord willing, I'll put this article, if I can, in the description below, and y'all can look into it. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Brother Kasha Quala. Until next time, Shalom.